Greetings. This is Rowell Report to bring you up to date on a situation in shipping on the high seas, which will affect the energy prices and eventually will hit you in the wallet. So this is specifically the shutdown of shipping that is transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran issued an order to all ships to avoid going through the Strait of Hormuz. They needed permission in order to go through, and without permission, they could be the target of a drone that would knock out their tanker. So the insurance companies have been cutting coverage for the ships that would attempt to passage through the Strait of Hormuz and be hit by a drone. So the Strait of Hormuz is not in a situation permitting naval vessels or tankers to go through, either LNG or oil tankers to go through. So you can see on the screen here several groups of ships that have grouped together waiting for the Strait of Hormuz to open up so that they could get into the Persian Gulf. So once they are into the Persian Gulf, then they would need to go pick up their cargo and then attempt to leave again. So even if they're able to transit through the Strait of Hormuz, then depending on how this conflict develops between Iran, Israel, and the United States, they may not be able to exit. So all this for these oil tanker or LNG tanker companies is means expenses because they're maintaining the ship, they're maintaining the crew, they are having to pay for additional insurance to cover the time that they are sitting there in this conflict zone. So this eventually also will hit you in the wallet. So it is very clear that right now, with 20% of the world's energy passing through the Strait of Hormuz, that this is a very negative situation for the world economy. And the longer it continues, the worse this is going to get, because countries will then begin to run through their reserves, and then we'll have to ration energy. And of course, the energy will also go up, just the law of supply and demand. So I think this is a situation which certainly we need to keep an eye on. And so this is a live view, and you can see really that nothing, maybe one or two ships is going through, nothing more than that. And we have several groups of ships waiting for the right moment to go through. And we have many, many more ships that are grouping together. That's strange. Okay, here we go. So you can see the ships grouping together, waiting to be able to transit out of the Persian Gulf. There isn't any other way out except the Strait of Hormuz. So as long as Iran could hit these tankers with drones and creating a high-risk situation, the more these ships will be motivated to stay put and try to stay safe and avoid getting in the middle of this conflict. And like I say, this increased their costs. The longer they have to wait, now they could go possibly elsewhere to get oil. So that would be additional energy costs in order to transit out of this area, out of the um, Arabian, this is the Gulf of Oman, and then that leads out to the, I guess, the Arabian Sea. So, anyway, so you can see the situation here is certainly not very favorable to these vessels that have entered the Persian Gulf to pick up their cargo and head out. And of course, eventually, this will show up at the pump. It will show up in the grocery store. It'll show up at the hardware store. It'll show up in your taxes. It'll because everyone is going to be paying higher costs. Um, so anyway, I think this is a situation that should be of interest to everyone. And again, here is the Strait of Hormuz. You see how many ships are passing through. You've got one here. Al has 9. Would that be India? Which possibly has been given permission to transit through without getting a drone strike. But other ships are staying far, far, far away from the Strait of Hormuz in order to maintain their insurance and in order to keep their ship and crew safe. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this video, and I wish you all the very best. And I'll be back in touch later as the situation continues to develop. Take care. Bye bye.